Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at another rank 1 in the world team from a Japanese player, WinkingOwl, with the Clefable in the lead here. That's going to be a very interesting Pokemon here. As a safe swap, we're going to have the Shadow Sableye, which is Shadow for them as well, as far as I know. And in the back we're going to have the Shadow Swampert, which they used, as far as I know, a normal variant of it. But I don't have one build, so that's most likely why I use the Shadow variant. So here we're going to take a look at this team right now. I'm going to talk a little bit on how to play this team. And I played 4 sets with this team, so you're going to see like half of the games that I actually played here on this video. And I went, I think, at 12-8 with this team, which is a fairly decent record, to be fair. So like I climbed with this team quite a bit. And it was a very decent team. It was not the craziest team I've ever played. For example, I of course had a way better, way better win streak there, for example, with the team that I showcased yesterday that got me to Legend. But this is a very solid team to play right now as well, if you have the Pokemon. Especially, I think it's going to be a little bit better with the normal Swampert, because I kind of want to have a little bit of more bulk for this team. Shadow Swampert is not really needed. Go for the normal variant if you have it. While they were running the Shadow Sableye, as far as I can translate the Japanese text there, so we are going to run this here as well. Normal Sableye would work out fairly well as well, I would guess. Like, I don't think like Shadow is needed here, but we're going to be able to win this first game here. So let's take a look on how to play this team, kinda at least. This team is interesting. This is something that you see with a lot of top players, I feel like. Usually they don't run teams that are played like normal teams, like where you just go ahead, you have a lead, you have a standard safe swap, you have maybe an ABB line in the back or whatever. This is usually not how like the top tier players play this game. And it's a little bit difficult to play this kind of style here, in my opinion, in like lower ranks as well. But here, basically, as far as I can see it, is you want to try to have your Clefable in the lead, trying to win the lead. If this is possible, it's basically perfect for this team, because you can realign and hard counter in the back usually. And if not, you're going to have to try to maybe safe swap into the Sableye. But the thing is, with this team, you have 2 very decent answers against Medicham, which is basically on every second team anyway. And you're going to just you don't really care. Like, if you encounter a Medicham in the lead and they're going to swap out, but you can realign with your Clefable in the lead, you can just stay in there and keep your Sableye for the situation later, which is going to help you out quite a bit as well. So yeah, you basically try to win the lead with this team, try to win the lead with the Clefable. You only really want to swap out if you really need to, and otherwise you're going to kind of want to stay in here with the Clefable and try to just realign your backline then. Here, we're going to see that the opponent going to be able to make a swap onto the Quagsire here, onto the Hydro Cannon, which doesn't not matter because I outspeed the opponent here anyway, so that's why I also went for the Chart Room with straight away, basically, because I know that I will be able to outspeed them, and Shadow Charizard in the back was able to sweep this game. One thing that I learned with this team though, which I definitely had better results in the end than compared to the beginning, definitely, like I went way better for the last few games that I played. Media Mesh is something that you should value a little bit higher than maybe you think. There are a ton of Pokemon that, especially in the 2-shot scenario, get 2-shotted by Media Beam, Media Mesh here. I was saying Media Beam, but Media Mesh here. So like, you don't always want to actually go for your stab move, because Media Mesh is usually enough for two charge moves, and it's a little bit cheaper, and it's going to help you out quite a bit if you know about this. And there are like some certain matchups where you're going to just want to go for the Media Mesh, because you're going to be able to guarantee basically winning the 2-shot scenario, which is going to help you out realigning your Pokemon later. So that's something that I only really noticed with this team here, playing this team today, that Media Mesh is definitely kind of underrated for this Pokemon, definitely something that you should play more often. I usually just went straight for Moonblast and then regretted it later. For example, for when you encounter like the Deoxys defense, you're going to be able to knock them out with 2 Media Meshes in the 2-shot scenario for sure. You don't have to go for any Moonblast there. So that's like something that you kind of have to know. Of course, Moonblast is going to do more damage in general, but Media Mesh is such a strong move that you kind of want to go for that one. Of course, also my IVs on the Clefable are not ideal. If you have better ones, that's going to help out quite a bit as well. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to have Clefable against Medicham. This is exactly what I kind of mean. You can just stay in here, depending on what comes in. This team is very weak against Lickitung, though. This is a huge issue for the team. I encountered this Pokemon quite a bit. I don't know how often this Pokemon is in here. Lickitung, there is no clear answer for this Pokemon. You're going to have your lead here, which is going to be okay-ish. But like your backline is like the Swampert going to be weak against the Power Whip and just get one-shotted, and of course the Sableye is a Sableye, so you're going to not have the best time against the normal type Pokemon with that. So it's a little bit of a trickier one. Here I was able to realign my Pokemon, which is all I really wanted, and like this I will be able to get the Swampert against whatever they have in the back, in this case a Bastiodon, and I will get my Sableye onto the opponent's Medicham. That's exactly what I mean. You kind of want to try to win the first matchup with the Clefable alone, then align back like later on just to hard counter the opponent. And as you're going to see here right now, I'm going to actually make a mistake here in this game as well, but we're going to take a look at this a little bit later. You're going to have, you know, the Ice Punch coming through from the opponent, but I most likely should play this one out a little bit different, I feel like, as we're going to be able to go for one foul play here. But as you're going to see right now, I'm going to shield up a one charge move from the opponent, going to be the Ice Punch. But I should just go ahead and go for the full farm down. But I decided to throw a charge move here, and this was very risky, because if the opponent has a move right now, they might get my Swampert into range where one Stone Edge would knock me out. But like this, they didn't, and I can just go for one Earthquake here and win this game. So very good game there. Again, this is basically how you want to win this here, basically trying to play out the first matchup with the Clefable, trying to realign your backline and hopefully win like this. Same is for the Lanturn matchup. This is going to be a little bit awkward because you have to go for Moonblast. The Media Mesh is doing basically no damage. Going to be resist. I think HE double resisted even? I'm not sure. I'm always not sure about like electric. I think steel is also resisted by electric. I think it's double resisted actually. But you rarely really see steel type charge moves in Go Battle League. So it's something that definitely hopefully going to change eventually. That you have some better steel type charge moves, like maybe give it heavy slam a buff or something. That would be really nice, as not a lot of Pokemon can learn this move right now. So here we're going to sadly not be able to realign, but what we can do here is you can try to farm them all the way down with my Swampert, and this is going to allow us to get a ton of energy here, and we're going to use this energy against the opponent's Sableye. We're going to be able to get to one Hydro Cannon, we're going to be able to get to another Hydro Cannon, and we're going to swap out now into our own Sableye, as we're going to be able to now farm them all the way down after this one. Just shield up once, because of course the Foul Play going to do a ton of damage against me, and I'm most likely going to be okay here, right? It's kind of sad, because I misplay this a bit. I should just go for the Foul Play here. I feel like Foul Play might be able to two-shot them here because we are Shadow, but I sadly did not expect that the opponent goes for the Shadow Ball. I wouldn't have reached another Foul Play if the opponent went for Sky Attack, but they went for the Shadow Ball, and like this they're going to be able to win this game. Good game to the opponent there, very well played by them. Next opponent, Deoxys defense in the lead. Honestly, I also saw some battles yesterday from like 2300 around that elo, and like the amount of Deoxys, Dugong, Umbreon since my video yesterday we had hit Legend, it was wild. Like nearly everybody was running this team. Now of course Zionic also made a team. It's kind of funny. Shoutouts to Zionic, by the way, one of the nicest persons I've ever met in real life, literally such a nice guy. But we have like so many times the same team, it is so wild. And no, nobody is copying from anybody. I hit Legend with a team already on Saturday, yeah, Saturday before the Riolo Hatch Day, so like I didn't copy from anybody. I also here that Homestays Henry I think also made a video about this team earlier on. Didn't know about this either. I think this team itself that I used to hit Legend yesterday has been around though for I think actually for several seasons now. Of course a little bit better since Dugong got the drill run, but I feel like this was a team that was already around prior. Still a very strong team, and we're going to of course encounter this exact team here right now from the opponent. This is always a little bit iffy to play around here. As the this team is kind of like neutral against it. It's not really the nicest to play. You can predict basically what they have in the back, but Dugong is a pain for this team to deal with here because you don't have a clear answer for it. Everything is kind of neutral, some are a little bit weak against Dugong, but yeah, Dugong is just a little bit of pain, and then with the Umbreon in the back, of course, with the Sableye, it's going to be a little bit of pain, but we were able to snipe them here with the stored Foul Play. The opponent can still get to 2 moves here with that Dugong, but I will be able to outspeed them now with these Swampert here, and this was such a nicely played game here. And this is going to be also it for that one. Good game there. Also, we're going to take a look at the next opponent here. We're going to have the Clefable against Deoxys. Guess what team they're going to have. I wonder if they actually have the same team again here. Honestly, I counted this team so often. But yeah, it's a good team. Definitely something that they can use. But now people know. Like, now people are going to expect this team. People know if they're going to encounter Deoxys defense in the lead. People are going to expect you to have Umbreon and the what's called and the dugong in the back. But you could trick the opponents, by the way. Just if you play Deoxys defense lead as well, and then like play something completely different in the back, so the opponent going to kind of get confused by it, that would be definitely a way to go. But again, we're going to see a dugong coming in here right now. And I will be able to swap out into my Sableye, which will be able to get to the foul play before they can debuff me. I have to go for the foul play here, by the way. There was no other chance of getting to the move. Sadly, it does not knock them out, and this is going to be very crucial here, sadly. As you're going to see that we can now knock them out there. But in comes, of course, the Umbreon. I will be able to get some damage onto them. But I wanted to CMP here, by the way. I know my cones, of course, but I didn't think that they would try to farm me all the way down. But this is a great play by the opponent. And I'm going to swap out here just to try to get rid of some energy here, as well as trying to maybe even catch a move or something and keep my Sableye as a shield in the back. So, now it's going to be a very tough game to still win this one. As the Swampert sadly, and here, by the way, is also where the normal Swampert is way better. Normal Swampert can survive 2 charge moves from the opponent's Umbreon, while the Shadow Swampert can't. So, this is, for example, really one of the scenarios where the normal Swampert really shines way more. So, you also always need kind of 3 Hydrocans anyway to knock them out, so the matchup against Umbreon is so much better with the normal Swampert. So, go for this here. Same team as before. Last time we won, this time we lost. And there was not a lot that I can do about it, but this is going to be a good game. Next opponent. Great lead, great save-up. And again, we're going to stay in here for a little bit, go for one Moonblast. And I'm just going to try to get an energy advantage, a shield advantage here. And this is going to allow us now to swap out into our Sableye. We will be able to just go ahead, let this move go through from the opponent. Going to be the Ice Punch, go for the foul play. And I can now see if they're going to shield, I shield. If they don't shield, I don't shield. And they do not shield. So I'm going to also zero shield this scenario here. Try to now farm them down. And maybe even get to a charge move here. Let's see. No, never mind. Like, this is impossible for our Sableye to get to a charge move there. But I made a huge mistake here, staying, like, basically swapping out immediately. Of course, I would have liked to go into my Swampert here instead. But I still were able to hit the Moonblast, allowing me to get enough damage that one Hydro Cannon hits, like, is enough for that, which is going to be very nice as well. They're gonna go for the Surf. I'm going to overfarm by quite a bit afterwards, because they should be at 0 energy right now. So this will allow me to go for a Hydro Cannon here. And this is going to get the knockout here. Good game there. We're going to see now the Dragonair coming back in, but there is nothing they can do. 2 Hydrocans are coming their way. First one coming through, next one coming through. This is going to get them super low. And our, even if this wouldn't have went through, we still would have been fine with our Clefable here, farming them all the way down. And I'm even going to no shield here just for the flex at the end, as I know that one body slam is not enough to knock us out. Next opponent here, Clefable against Deoxys defense. It's going to be an interesting one as well again, might be the same team as we already know. Let's find out. We're going to encounter here the opponent's, opponent's Deoxys. Here I'm finally realizing, okay, Media Mesh is actually enough after a while. So I went for the Media Mesh instead, but then made a mistake again here and should went for, oh no, actually, never mind. I'm actually going to go straight for the Media Mesh, I think, afterwards again. I thought I would go for the Moonblast here, but no, I'm going to go for the Media Mesh, which is the right play to do. This is like something that I really have to learn a little bit more with Clefable. I'm not really used to the matchup, but Media Mesh is way underrated. And so here we're going to still be able to go for one Moonblast against the opponent, doing some decent damage, and I can swap out into my Sableye right now, which will be able to tank a Power Whip here. Not really ideal, but still going to be okay, as we can go ahead and go for the foul play here. I tried to see CMP onto the opponent's Body Slam maybe, but this did not work out, but I can knock them out. And we're going to encounter a Machamp in the back. Actually, Pokemon that I also tried to play before and wanted to make a video about, but it just didn't work out for me. This is like the thing anyway that you don't really see on my channel. There are a ton of teams that fail. Like, there are a ton of teams that I play that just don't work out at all. And I played a team with Registeel backline together with Machamp. It just didn't work out for me. Like, I lost 90 points in like 3 sets with it, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to stop it. This was basically the team that I played before I hit Legend with the other team that I showcased yesterday. But like, those stuff you don't really see on my channel, because there always are a lot of teams that fail that you just don't see. That's why, if you're wondering, oh, why does he always have like so many matchups where he goes so positive, there are always some teams in between that just fail and lose me some points. It's just something that you rarely see here on YouTube, that just want to say it. And make that clear, we're going to have an Azumarill against us here. This is going to be a little bit of a trickier one. Of course, I kind of would like to keep my Clefable alive for the lead that I faced, but I didn't expect them to have Hydro Pump. Very smart play by them to go for that, and very interesting play there. And also make another mistake by staying in for too long here, which is really not ideal. But now I have to go ahead and go to my Swampert, and honestly, because of Hydro Pump and also because I stayed in for way too long, I just did not really play that well. I thought they needed one more bubble here. I just somehow missed a bubble or something like this. I really thought they needed one more. And like this, I'm going to be in a tough spot right now. I can go for one Hydro Cannon against the incoming Noctowl at least. And I will even go for another one. And I will even go for another one. So here we're going to have now the opponent being forced basically to shield this move up or let this move go through and allow me to realign. That's going to be also very nice here as we're going to encounter the Sableye again. We can still get to one charge move here, and because I don't want to get farmed down, I'm going to swap out here into my own Sableye now, and I still have 3 Pokemon in total, but 2 of them are very low, and now 3 of them are very low. And I expect the opponent to try to catch a move here, so I didn't tap at all, trying to wait for them to swap out here, which worked out really well. And like this, I'm going to be able to even reach another charge move after this, winning me the game with my Shadow Sableye. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on the video. There are going to be 2 videos on the screen, my Legend one if you haven't seen that one, and the top teams for the Open Great League. So check those videos out, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.